guys, welcome back to the channel Pause Window Cleaning, and if you can believe it, it's been about a year since I did my previous video of how to start your own window cleaning business. Now, in the meantime, my beard has grown a little bit. My hair now is different because I saw the video before I made this video just to kind of get ideas of what I talked about last year. But essentially what I want to do in this video is kind of do like an update for 2025. And if you guys can believe it, I have one part of it, and I'll mention it. I have here my computer to help me out, but there's one part of the video of last year that's kind of updated, and I will let you know when we kind of get to that point. But let's just kind of get straight into it. So you want to start a window cleaning business in 2025, right? What's the first thing you want to do, right? Everyone thinks go to Home Depot, go get a mop and squeegee. You know, what is the first thing that you would want to do? So in my opinion, in 2025, this is all my opinion, I can be wrong, and if I'm wrong in your opinion, just put in this the comment section down below, just how your thoughts are, the steps that you have, if you agree, disagree with me. But essentially, this is just kind of how I see things now in 2025. Maybe next year will change, but let's just kind of get straight into it. So I have here 12 different steps, okay? So we're going to kind of break down each step. But the first step is to open up social media. Now, what do I mean by social media? Do you have Instagram? You have Facebook? You know, anything like in that area of social media you want to open. If you want to open up a YouTube channel, I mean, go for it too. But essentially what you want is to start thinking, you know, like you don't just open up Instagram, just open it, right? You have to think of like, what is the name of your company going to be, right? So I know a couple of you guys have asked me like, what ideas can there be? I mean, there's a couple of you guys out there that have really fun names when it comes to having your window cleaning business, but essentially what you want is to have something catchy, something to remember, because quite frankly, what's our company name? It's Pause Window Cleaning, right? And so whenever people pass by and like, let's say they don't see my number on the wrap, they'll say, oh, I saw Pause Window Cleaning, that's easy, pause. So you want something that is very easy. Now, a couple of you guys use your last name, so that's how I do it, right? Like with Pause, that's my last name. But a couple of you guys say like, you know, my last name is not like easy to remember, it might be a little bit difficult. So maybe try your first name, something as simple as that, or something that, you know, attracts you to, like, let's say a type of hobby that you have or something, but you also want it to relate to window cleaning, you know? So that's kind of what you want to do. So then in turn, when you're making up your profile, you have your Instagram, your Facebook, everything's already available because it also might be taken. So you also want to work that out. And then once you have the name, then you want to have then your Instagram, Facebook, then you want to work on your logos and all that other stuff. So it kind of starts forming your business together so that, you know, when you go to Home Depot and you go to your first job, what are they going to ask you? What's the name of your business? And what are you going to say? I don't have one yet. So we're trying to prevent that, right? So first thing first, you want to have like a name, a logo, but ultimately you want to have that go into your social media so that people can find you, because that's the next part. Then from there, then you want to start buying your window cleaning products, because once you already do step one, have your Instagram and Facebooks and all that, then from there you want to have then your tools, right? Just go to Home Depot, buy your basic tools, you know, your mop, squeegee. You don't have to get all the fancy stuff, but if you do, you know, I am a WCR affiliate, so if you want to like need any help when it comes to buying products, I'll do my best to kind of accommodate what the needs that you have, and I'll do my best, to just make sure that you get the best price, and I don't want you to get the most expensive from the beginning, so I'll do my best. But the point I'm trying to get at is that just go to Home Depot, get the cheapest stuff, you know, that's what's most important, because we're all kind of like, you know, what should we invest in? Just kind of just go there. I have a couple videos on my channel if you guys want to like look up like what tools to buy from Home Depot, so that is something that I want to do for you guys. So go there, buy the necessary equipment and tools, and yeah, that's kind of that. And then from there, you're kind of good to go when it comes to cleaning windows. Now, that was point number 2, right? Buy your products. Now, the third part, it's kind of simple. So now we have our Instagram and all that, our socials. Now we have the tools. So once you have all that, then the next step is to then ask friends and family if you can do work at their place or property or whatever. Now, the reason why I say that is because what you want to do is now start forming that content on your social medias, and most importantly, that will also be used for, I mean, people to find you, see your work, but also too, when you're giving bids, you also want to use that information. Like, for example, when I say, oh, I charge $5 for screen cleaning, they're like, oh, that's a lot of money. The previous window cleaner, you know, he gets like a rag and just kind of just brushes it all off, and he does it for free. And I'll be like, well, if you look at my Instagram, you know, here, this is how we do our screen cleaning. And they see the machine, they're like, oh wow, that's very impressive, let's do it. So that's why I'm saying that to have the friends and family, then you can do work on their house. And guess what? Because I mean, you can do whatever you want. I would suggest to do it for free, you know, just to kind of just get content. It's a win-win. You know, you might not do the best of jobs, which is fine. Don't worry about it. The best supporters are going to be obviously yourself and your friends and family. From there, what you can do is then from there use that and post it onto your socials and all that other stuff. So essentially, it kind of really benefits both parties. And so that's kind of what I suggest in that end. But now that you have your content, your YouTube and your Instagrams and all that, and you have your tools, right? Now you're ready to work, right? So now you don't just go now and just say, hey, I'm ready to work. Now from there, you need to do a very important step before going forward, and that is being licensed and insured. Now, insurance, I actually ended up changing my insurance because they dropped me, so I had to get another one. The point being for that is that just to pretty much do an online search just to see what type of insurances are out there. I used to use Next, but Next doesn't work anymore because they dropped me because I guess something with California. I don't know what, but they just dropped me out of the blue with no reason. I had never filed a claim with them. So the point I'm trying to say is that just do your research, because maybe today might be one company that's available, but then in the future it might change. So that's why just do your research on that end. But when it comes to getting a business license, it's very simple. Just type in your city and say, how do I get a business license? And then from there, you have to probably go to City Hall or however it works in your area. Then from there, you get a business license, and then you kind of see what you can do, and you're going to be under janitorial. So just want to give you that as a heads up. So sometimes they have categories of window cleaning. That's awesome. But here it's just janitorial, then window cleaning. So just kind of like a heads up on that end. So now that you have your business license and now you're insured, right, because you want to do those two steps, before you start getting work in itself, there's a very important thing that you really need to have before you're doing all that that's going to make your life so much easier, and that is the sponsor of this video, and that is Project to Payment. Now, Project to Payment is an awesome business management tool that, especially because now you're going to be starting a new business and you're trying to get new clients and everything, it's just going to make things so much easier to organize everything. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, when I first started, I only texted my clients and I kind of just said, hey, this is the price. Sometimes I verbally say it and then I forget later. I'm like, how much did I charge you? And unfortunately enough, I've been having awesome clients that they tell me. But if I already had them in a system organized and everything like that, that organized all my clients and how much I charged them, if they paid or not, I mean, that's later, right, when you actually do the job. But it just makes things so much easier, especially when you're starting your business, because now you don't have to look at past emails, past text messages, looking at different platforms like, you know, Google, Yelp and all that to find, you know, how much you charge and what their information is. And then every so often, every 6 months, a year, and you message them, hey, would you like your windows cleaned? Everything now is in one awesome business management tool that will be very beneficial for you. And then also too, while you actually have the job, have the invoice and all that, the best part is that they actually leave links for reviews, and that is awesome because that is going to be king. Reviews are king, especially in any business that you have, because people could then say, like, all the time people ask me like, Andy, I hired you because of your reviews. So obviously I do good work, right, because I have good reviews. But at the same time, when you're starting off and you don't have a lot of reviews, that's going to actually give you that jump start that you need, because after you're done, you already give them the invoice and it's like, hey, can you leave a link for a review? Boom. And also too, you can also mention it too, like, hey, I'm going to leave you a link for a review after your job is done, and you can do that, and then ultimately they can leave that review for you, and then you can grow your business, and that's going to be awesome. So anyways, I just want to thank this video sponsor, Project to Payment, for sponsoring this video. But even though it is the sponsor, I really do believe in them, and I'm kind of going a little bit extra. But really, if you use this, especially in the beginning, any CRM or business management tool that you have, but yet if you don't have one, it's awesome to have that to start your business so that you can progress. And the best part is it's all organized in one platform. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Okay. Then from there, this is kind of the part that I kind of want to just let you guys know that I'm going to update it from my last video. Essentially, door knocking doesn't work. I have a video, hopefully it's published by now, that I went with my wife and I didn't record going door to door, or door knocking, if that makes sense. But what I ended up doing was my wife and I kind of did like a little bit of a test in different neighborhoods and see if I can get work. Didn't work at all. And actually my confidence going door knocking went down, because it's like, even though I have a 100K journey on our channel, and essentially it shows that a window cleaner can make 100K in a year, and essentially, like, even with that confidence going door to door and knocking and all that stuff, it was just a little bit difficult because my confidence was going down. So I just want to kind of let you know that door knocking does not work, but that's why I think it's the next step. Yes, step number 7. So we're kind of going a little bit, I forgot to say the numbers, but essentially the next step is, instead of door knocking, what you want to do is have you want to have online presence. Now, what do I mean by online presence? Well, Google is king, right? Everyone knows that Google is like the best way. Like, if you need to find something, just go to Google. Well, I guess you could use ChatGPT now, but if you're trying to like search things, but if you're looking for something, normally you go to Google, try to find things. So if you say, oh, like right now you go on your computer, I want to look for window cleaning in my area, boom, that's where people find you. So essentially having that Google, Yelp, Thumbtack, whatever works in your area, because apparently Yelp only pretty much works in California. That's what people have been telling me. But at least Google works all over the country, and there's, like I said, Thumbtack, other different platforms. That's going to help you build up your business, because now they have the photos, the content that you've been posting on your Instagrams and stuff like that. You could then put it on that. And the best part is it is free, so you don't have to worry about, I mean, you can pay for ads, but you don't have to do it right away. You can just start off there, and then eventually, if you start making a little bit of money, that's kind of what I talked about in our last video from last year, that when I first started, I was kind of like, I don't want to spend money. I just kind of want to keep it like simple, free as much as possible. They both gave me good deals, Google and Yelp. Yelp, I think they gave me like $300 if I spent $150. I don't know if that's the same anymore, but because obviously I used it. But essentially, if you do something like that, they give you free credits, and so instead of be 150, they give you 450 credits. So that's kind of something to think about. And also Google, I think they give you like $500 if you spend 500. So another thing to think about. So, but again, the point is that once you start all that, then people will be looking for you. They'll see your profile, they'll see your logo, you'll see everything, and then from there, going to say, oh, I want to hire this individual. Then from there, you give bids. And I think that's, I'm almost there, point number 9, that's what I'm looking at. But then from there, once you have that online presence, people can find you and they can look you up and all that good stuff. So then from there, before you start giving bids and everything like that, you need to have a minimum. Now, the reason why I said to have a minimum, I think the best minimum, I think across the country, is probably 150. Maybe in your area it's not, but I think having a minimum of 150 is going to be phenomenal, because then from there you actually have like when you go give a bid, people are not going to be like, oh, there's just one window, and you're like, I drove all the way here for one window, my minimum is 150. Oh yeah, I can't afford that. So then from there you're kind of like, well, might as well just do it if I did it. But you could have avoided it, right, if you didn't end up going. So having a minimum is good, and also letting the individual know what your minimum is before you even showing up. That's going to be very beneficial, so that when you arrive, everyone kind of has an understanding that that minimum is going to be literally the minimum of the job, of the price point. It can only go higher from there. So that's another thing. But have a minimum is very important, because now the next part is going to be really good. Oh, and I also forgot, if you do have a little bit of extra money on the side, I think having magnets, I know it's not the most professional thing in the world, but having magnets is pretty cool, because at least you can somewhat advertise on the sides. Also too, you can also use flags. I used to use flags back in the day, like maybe about a year or two ago. I used to like have a flag, kind of put it on the grass and have it like kind of, be a flag and have all our information, and it worked. But at the same time, I ended up progressing and I ended up getting a wrap for my car. But what I'm trying to get at is that having a flag, having magnets, I mean, it's a couple $100 to invest in it. It's good in the beginning, but eventually you want to kind of outgrow that. But it'll be good, because when you're giving bids and people see, like when they're walking by, they can say, oh, hey, they have window cleaners here, maybe I want their services, let me give them a call. So you kind of want to start advertising as much as possible, right? Online, in person, but also to wherever is needed. So having magnets is pretty good. But now, kind of going back about the minimum, now we're going to point number 9, is having an 80-20 rule. So what do I mean by having an 80-20 rule? Well, if you give like 100% bids, right? Like let's say 10 bids, right? That's 100%, let's say. Out of those, you want to have 8 of the 10 be jobs. So now the reason why I'm saying that is because not everyone's going to go with you. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Some people are more on the cheaper end, more other people, they just, probably wanted more services done that you don't offer. Like, let's say you're a window cleaner and they wanted a pressure washer. So that's why that 2 out of 10 is always going to be on the side. But now if you get 100% of the jobs, let's say, that means you're charging too little. Okay, but then on the flip side, if you're getting no work, that means you're charging too high. So you kind of want to have the majority of work because you want to work, right, and survive and live, right? So that 80% rule is good. So that's why I said having that minimum is great, because then from there people can say, oh, okay, well, I know this is your minimum. At least if you, let's say for example, is 150 and you got 10 bids and 8 of them that said yes, you're getting 150 minimum of each job. There you go, right? So you kind of have to have that in the back of your mind, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that you're not getting every job, because that means your prices are too low. One thing that's really been awesome for us for our business is because, again, everything's getting intertwined, everything's getting put together, is that when I give a bid, I actually go there with my Instagram ready. So what do I mean by that? So when I go there and I said, have you ever had your windows cleaned before? Yes, no. Have you, if it was yes, was it with a professional? Did they use water fed? Now I do have a water fed system, so I say, oh, have they had water fed? But let's just say something that maybe, because water fed's kind of expensive, but let's say you have a screen cleaner, let's say, right? Oh yeah, we charge $5 a screen. They're like, what? That's crazy. But then again, like I kind of told you guys in the beginning of the video, oh, here's a video of how we do screen cleaning. Oh wow, okay. And like just last week alone, I know this is kind of the end of the year, but last week alone we had like 2 jobs that we got easily $100 each of those jobs, because they each had like, I think, 20 screens each, and it was just awesome because then we made $200 and it was like really simple. I mean, we're already taking off the screens, might as well get paid for it, right? That's my wife's favorite quote when it comes to screens. But it really does work. But having that Instagram, you can show your work and say, hey, like, this is a water fed system, this is how it works, the screen cleaner, this is how it works. Oh wow. And so you kind of want to show why you're a professional, why you're a window cleaner, why you charge the way you do. Because essentially, if I were to start at day one with like no reviews or anything, and I show up, oh yeah, this job's going to be $1,000, they're going to be like, oh, okay, why did you charge $1,000? Oh, just because, that's going to be kind of like weird, right? But yeah, if you're like, oh, well, he came and he looked professional, he has content, he shows videos, why? And also too, a lot of my clients, now that I think about it, they actually do look at our videos. Like even our job this week, now talking about other jobs, she said, oh yeah, I saw you had like this pole looking thing, and her house was like 3 floors up, and she's like, yeah, my windows are on like a very unique angle, so it's awesome that you have that pole thing. And so I got the job because she saw that as content. So again, it's awesome to have Instagram so that you can show them in the bids, and then and sometimes it's like a 50-50 chance that they might say yes or no. Having that video kind of leans more to yes. So just want to let you know about that. Okay. So now you're starting to get work, okay? Now remember, you're just starting off, you're doing all these, like it's going to be all a learning process. You're going to overbid, you're going to underbid, and I do have a video talking about bids, about how to price window cleaning. I have 2 of them, how to find your minimum and all that, but also to how to count windows and how to price and all that. So that should be very beneficial to you if you want to learn more about that. It's on our channel, but essentially what you want is to have all these different tools that you want to progress, right? So like, let's say you're pricing a certain way, eventually you want to start pricing higher and everything, but at some point you're going to have to reinvest to the point to upgrade your stuff, right? So what do I mean by that? So like I'm kind of mentioning window cleaning. I'm kind of referring to the water fed. It's an awesome tool. Do I recommend getting that like from day one? Now, if you have all the money in the world, yes, sure. But the point I'm trying to say is that when you start building your business and starting like in a good way, like very humble, very, okay, I'm just going to get the basic tools and try to progress my way there, use the ladder and all this other stuff, you start to appreciate with what you have, right? And that's something that's very important, because if you get the best right away, you're not going to really appreciate it. But if you start to progress and you're seeing your business grow, you're going to be like, wow, this is really good. But most importantly, at some point, you're going to have to start raising your prices. Like as we saw during COVID, everything went up. I had to raise my prices. Some of them, unfortunately, I had to raise it double. Wow. Well, let me rewind. Why am I saying that it's unfortunate? It's because my clients were not expecting that. It's great for business, sure, but everything has gone up. And it's like if I charge the same prices as I did before, I'm going to kind of like go out of business type of thing. And that actually did happen to quite a few companies here in the area. So start raising your prices and everything. But once you see the money start coming in, start investing into your company. Get a water fed. Trust me, like it's the best. It's a game changer. Like literally my 100K journey came basically from water fed. Now there's maybe like one or two jobs that I did without water fed because it was either simple or had like a special circumstance, but the whole year I was using water fed. And so a lot of people might say, oh, it doesn't work. If you use the right techniques, you use the right system, and you change your filters and do everything correctly, having the right tools, it's always going to work. So unless it's a construction clean, let me clarify that. If it's a construction clean, no. That one you have to pretty much do by hand, and also you probably have to use a razor too and have to, do kind of like a deep clean. But the point I'm trying to say is when you reinvest into your company, it's only going to make things better and easier for you. And then having a website is very important. Now, why do I say having a website is very important? Well, this is something that you can actually have everything provided for the customer. Now, you can plug in your Instagram, your Facebook, if you have a YouTube channel, your YouTube, all into a website, and then from there, your customers can see all the content that you have, the products or the services that you offer, all those different things, and then from there, they can get, oh, this is a really great understanding of like what the services these guys provide. And the best part is that you are the one that show what you want to show. Make sense? Because if you put yourself up, like not in a bad way, but like if you put yourself up on like a certain platform or something like that, and you're trying to advertise, maybe they'll put a photo that you don't want. Not that it's anyone's fault, but that's just the way things are. When it's a website, you do it your way. Like for us, I took a picture with my wife and I in front of our car. We have like our system in front. Now it's kind of outdated because now we have two water fed systems. But we have that. We took a picture. That's the photo that I want to have. Like, I was talking to my wife, like, this is the photo that I want when people come to our website. That's what we chose. That's what we did, right? So that's kind of a really good perk. But maybe start upgrading your shirts. In the beginning, you might have, like, I think I remember it was from Vistaprint that I used to have, like, a gray polo shirt with my logo here. I think it cost me like $30-$40. It was not like a big purchase, but I did end up buying 5 of them, so it kind of started adding up. But the point I'm trying to say is that it was somewhat professional, but it was kind of like not really. I'm just saying ever since that I upgraded from these shirts, a lot of people, even when I go, like, let's say I go to Chipotle for lunch or something like that, and I'm waiting in line, trying to go to the next job, or I'm coming home or something, I'm always advertising. And when I'm actually doing the work itself, they can see, wow, this person looks very professional, and they see, oh, while you do this service, you do that service. So essentially that's why I say, like, reinvest in the tools is great, reinvest in your brand, your shirts and all that, but eventually maybe you have like a simple car. I had a Toyota RAV4. That thing was an amazing car, super reliable, but eventually I was like, you know what, I talked to my wife about it. It's not really professional. I had the magnets and everything. I said, look, if we're going to go all the way in this business, let's upgrade. And again, if you don't want to upgrade, you want to keep the same car, like let's say in this case like a RAV4, no problem at all. I just want to say, like, you want to upgrade your car in a sense that you want to become more professional, because if you want to make this into a career, really go all the way. Don't go like halfway and just kind of say I'm happy where I'm at. You can do that, but eventually you want to upgrade, you want to progress, because then from there you're going to attract even more clients and potentially even higher paying clients because of the professionalism, right? Just like what happened this week, right, with the lady. Oh, you had the pole and I like that. So something like that, and she probably saw our wrap and our car and all that, and she really liked it a lot. And I kind of just already said it. But if you do end up getting a new car, and if not, you're okay, maybe you already have a truck, wrap your car. Wrap your car is going to be like your best friend, because when you're driving to a bid, driving to work, just driving in general, you're always advertising and always have, like I said, that catchy name. Because like I said, people will say, oh, I saw your car. I said Paz Window Cleaning. I couldn't get your phone number, but I just remember Paz because it's like a Spanish last name. So people remember that. So essentially having that wrap, you're always advertising 24 hours and you're not paying for it. I mean, you pay for the wrap, but you're not paying to have your car drive around. You know what I mean? Like if you're going somewhere. So that helps out a lot. So then, like I said, talking about tools, essentially what you want is that always be like, not tools, but like when you reinvest, what you essentially want to do is just always find ways to always keep investing into your company, because essentially what you want to do is you want to be more professional, and then at some point you're going to say, hey, I'm good to go. You're never good to go. So the last point, I guess 11 and 12 point is, this is your company. Okay, there is no right way of doing it. Now, the right way is to make a profit, right? But I'm just saying the way you make a profit is your way, okay? Now, my way that I'm telling you guys, and this is all my opinion, is just how I see things. This is just how it has worked for me. These are kind of like the basic steps, because last year was like a really deep video, but this time around, I kind of want to make it more simple, more to the point, not as long as last year's video, but essentially it's your company. Do what you want. You know, if you want to have the color, instead of being blue, be red, no problem. If you want to have like a minivan, go for it, you know, or a like the Ford Transit, I can't think of it, like a van, there you go, like a van, you know, that's fine too. You don't have to have a truck like I do, right? But the point I'm trying to say is that it's your business. Be confident, do the best that you physically can, because essentially once you get past that, there's a point somewhere that, like, I don't know how to explain it, but in the beginning you're like working hard, but then there's a point where everything's just gonna be automatic. To now sum it all up, once you already start getting the flow of things, everything's working out, save money. That's literally the last point. It's 12, but now this is, I guess, 13, but save money. Now, the reason why I say that is because right now, this is December, kind of the end of the year already, and yeah, we're getting work, and, you know, we're kind of double booking, which is great, you know, but essentially, like, January, February, middle of March, we don't have a lot of work. So if any, right? Fortunately, we do. But what I'm trying to get at is that, you know, once you see all these jobs coming in throughout the year, you're gonna be like, oh man, this is great. Save money. Save money. Save money for a rainy day. Save money. In my opinion, you can do whatever you want. I would say look at your finances and see how much you spend a month, you know, like the necessities, you know, and then from there, kind of have 6 months saved of that price point, because from there you want to make sure that, you know, if something does happen, let's say throughout the year, or even like, let's say January, February, in our case as window cleaners, there's not a lot of work, at least you have enough to pay your bills, and most importantly, not have that stress of like, oh man, you know, I can't pay the bills for this month, and then you're going to end up quitting window cleaning. Don't quit window cleaning in that sense, but because of that reason, I should say. But make sure that you save a little bit of money, you know, invest, do whatever you want, put in a savings account, whatever, but at least you have that. And also too, it's going to help you when you have to pay taxes. I know, taxes, but just make sure that when you do all that, you have everything ready to go, so that next year, now you can start preparing for the next year and the next year after that. And most importantly, your business is going to keep growing. Okay, so right now we have a certain price point that we made, but all those returning clients that we had this year and the years before, they end up calling us, and then from there we're going to only get new clients. So all I'm trying to say is just save, and most importantly, you know, be the best you can for your company, and just, there's other points too, but those are the main ones that I feel like those are the ones that are going to help build a company. And then, I mean, of course, that's the order that I feel. I can be wrong. You can always tell me in the comment section down below. But most importantly, you know, I just want you guys to succeed. There's enough windows for everyone, even if you're here in Pasadena. I know a couple of you guys here locally that have talked to me about that you guys have grown your business and all that. And I'm happy for you guys. I really am, because there's enough windows for everyone. And at the same time, I have to sometimes give jobs to other people and vice versa, you know, because there's so many windows that there's no way that I, my wife, even the local companies that I know are going to be able to do all of them. So it's really nice to see that we're all unified here and being able to, most importantly, you know, try to give jobs to one another. And you know, that's just the way things are, because, you know, as window cleaners, you know, there's always going to be companies coming in and out, but most importantly, you want to make sure that you can be a successful business, and eventually, who knows, hire employees if you want. But like I said, these are just the points that I have, but most importantly, you know, it's your business, do what you can. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like this video. I just tried to do my best to give all this information out for you guys. And so by liking the video, commenting right about the video too, your opinions and everything like that helps with the algorithm. And most importantly, subscribing, because I'm having a lot of videos. Like right now, it's the end of the year. I want to put all these videos together. So I kind of want to help you guys out in that sense. So if you guys subscribe, you guys can see all those videos, and from there the channel can go spread out to other individuals too, and from there be able to, you know, help other people out. And also too, if you would like, you know, you can always share it with others. So anyways, thanks again, this video sponsor, Project to Payment, for sponsoring this video. And again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.